Hello, hello, the quotient queen here to show you how to estimate quotients. And so it's really hard to teach estimating quotients because there's not one exact way that you have to estimate every time. But I'm going to talk you through some strategies that can be used to give you a good idea of your quotient without solving it all the way. And that way, when you do solve it, you know if your answer is reasonable. So let's look at 467 divided by 14. The first way, and it's typically, I think, the easiest way, is to multiply your divisor, the smaller number, by multiples of 10. And let me show you what I mean. So we know that 14 times 10 is 140 because 14 times 1 is 14, and then we can just move that zero over. Well, I know 140 is pretty far away from 467, so I'm going to go another multiple of 10. So I'm going to try 14 times 20. And here what you have to do is add 14 to 14. That's going to give us 28. So 14 times 20 is 280. Okay, that's still a pretty good ways away. So let's try 14 times 30. And so again, we just need to add 14 to this 28. And that's going to give us 420. Okay, we're getting pretty close. All right, so let's try another one. 14 times 40. Okay, so I'm going to add 14 to 42. And that gives me 560, which is too much. So my dividend is right between these two numbers. So that tells me that my quotient is going to be between 30 and 40. So that's a really good way to do it. But let's say this seems a little bit overwhelming. You can round these numbers to numbers that are compatible, so pretty close. So 14, I'm going to say is pretty close to 10. And 467 is pretty close to 470. Okay, so then if I am looking 470 divided by 10, that gives us the answer of 47. Now, that's more than the quotient is going to be, but this gives us still a neighborhood of where the answer should be. Okay, so let's try another example. 572 divided by 23. We would start with 23 times 10, which is 230. Okay, that's still a pretty good ways from 572. So we can try it again. 23 times 20, and that's going to be 460. So we're getting closer. 23 times 20. Okay, so if I'm not sure, I can add 23 to this 46, and that's going to give us 69. So 690 is 23 times 30. Okay, 23 times 30 is 690. So since that's too much and our dividend is somewhere between these two numbers, then we know our quotient is between 20 and 30. Okay, another one that I like to use when we have a number close to 25, I like to use that number. So I'm going to divide by 25 for my estimate because that's pretty compatible to 23. And then I'm going to choose 575 because I know that 25 will go in evenly, and that's something I can do in my head. Okay, so if I'm thinking, I know that in 100, there are 4 25s. So if there are 4 25s in 100, I have 500. So I need to multiply 4 times 5, and that gets me 20. And then in 75, there are 3 25s. So I need to add 3, and that gives me an estimate of 23, which is right between where we said it would be with our other estimating strategy. Okay, so these are just a couple of the ways that you can estimate. So the estimate is helpful because when you finish the problem, you can go back and check and see if it is even remotely close to your estimate. And if it's not, you probably made a mistake somewhere. So this just gives you an idea if your answer is reasonable. Have a great day.